I'm back. Reddit on Wiki starts now.
Get therapy.
I'm not reading.
Get therapy.
What is up, Wikimaniacs? I almost said rich. I'm rusty as heck. I didn't swear, though, so I'm not that rusty. What's up? It's your boy Josh here for another Am I the Asshole episode. A married man now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
With the rang.
With the rang. Hell yeah. I'm joined, of course, with my two co-hosts, John and Sean, who held down the fort while I was away. What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Not too much.
I got to say, Nancy and Juliet killed it in the episode that I've recorded so far. The judge, jury, executioner episode. Love the note taking. That was
wild to me.
That was crazy. I was like, she's already more professional than we are.
It made me feel like we should take notes.
Nah.
It was funny because the day after we recorded, you know how usually in hotels they do your room after the next day, right?
Oh, yeah.
That note was on the table, like the coffee table that we were recording after. When we got back, it went back to like the office table, and Juliet was like, "Oh my God, did they read the notes? If they did, then they must have thought we were talking about some crazy stuff."
Crazy stuff, yeah. That's insane. But yeah, I'm back from honeymoon, wedding break. Gotta say, it went amazingly. We did a whole thing for the Patreon bonus, monthly bonus episode where we sat down and went through the whole wedding, basically the day of. So if you want to get more details, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/cultivate podcast network, and check that out. I appreciate all the congratulations and well wishes. I read through them all as I was driving down through Vermont, so I appreciated that. But boys, are you ready to hop into the first story today?
Let's do it. This feels right.
Back in the Am I the Asshole chair.
Yes.
I like it.
I've been here the whole time, so I'm very excited and very ready.
John's internet's having problems again. And
Dude,
he is plugged in this time. So
I'm fucking plugged in. I had the fucking goddamn fiber people come out multiple times. I'm sick of this shit.
All right, before Sean's internet cuts out, let's hop into the first story, cross-posted by Writing Giraffe. A goat. And the title for this one is, My Son Has a Larger College Fund Than My Daughter. Am I the Asshole?
Yes.
I feel like there's going to be something where like my son is older, so of course but then why would he write about it? I'll just say yes. Okay. It doesn't matter.
Just sticking with John.
Yeah.
I like
solidarity.
It. All right. Do you have any reason why you think this is a yes, John?
The parent is probably going to be like, my son is going to be the one carrying the family name in the future. So I want them to have a better access to life so then they can continue the family legacy.
All right. So here's the situation. My wife and I have 2 kids. Our daughter is 21 and our son is 17. We started saving for college when they were both born, and honestly, we were doing okay, but nothing crazy. By the time our daughter was ready to go to school, we had saved a decent amount, but not enough to cover everything. So she had to take out some loans to make it work. She's now in her 3rd year and things have been fine. Here's where things get tricky. A few years ago, we came into a lot of money and were able to put more into my son's college fund. As a result, he now has way more than my daughter ever did, and he won't need loans like she did. My daughter recently found out and is really upset, feeling like we're favoring him, even though that's not the case. We love them equally and didn't plan for this windfall. It just happened to come at a different time in their lives. Now my wife and I are both torn. We want to help our daughter out with her remaining school expenses, but she still feels like we're being unfair. My son is aware of the situation and feels bad too, but at the same time, we don't want to take away from what we've saved for him either. I feel like we're doing our best, but maybe I'm missing something here. Would love some outside perspective. So am I the asshole?
Ooh.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm confused.
Okay, maybe I can clarify for you. What are you confused about?
They had the loans. Who pulled out extra loans? They did.
The daughter did.
The daughter did.
Okay, then not the asshole.
Oh, really?
Right. Wait,
Sean
right?
needs notes, I think.
Maybe I need notes. I was so focused on looking at you guys to like, are y'all crystal clear? Is it just me that's fucking up? Probably.
It is.
It's just you, yeah.
Am I
It's
fucking
just
up on
you.
y'all's end too?
You're
no.
very slow on our end, at least for me.
Oh, you're fine.
What
on my
is
end.
going on, bro?
It's
Little
okay.
John.
Just keep going with what you're saying.
I don't know what I'm saying is the problem.
Okay, John, you take it away.
Okay, so it sounds like in the beginning they were still able to save for the daughter. However, and I'm just trying to relay this to Sean so that way too. So
Yeah, I
and
need it.
So and then later on in life they were able to run into some money and they were able to contribute to the son's future a little bit more. Is that correct, Josh?
Yeah, basically, the daughter is still in school by the sounds of it. They said they came into money and they put all of that money or a large chunk of that money into the son's college fund so that he doesn't have to get loans, whereas the sister did have to get loans.
Oh. Why wouldn't they just split it equally between the two?
There we go.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I miss some shit.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, so then what the fuck is that?
I agree. And this might be my bias from already knowing the show, the story, and the outcome. But yeah, like for me, it seems like an easy split it down the middle, help her pay off her loans, help him pay for school so he doesn't have to get loans or as many loans. Whereas right now it's like you're just giving one of your kids more money than the other so that he has a better start in life than your daughter does, which is pretty shitty, right?
I agree with you with there, Josh. Like, I think that they're seeking for advice on Reddit when the answer is very easy. You know, like the daughter has the right to be upset. I mean, because it's like, hey, student loans, I always say student loans are super predatory.
Very much so.
You know, a lot of people put themselves in really bad financial situations because of school or because of loans. The parents had the opportunity to right. I wouldn't say the wrong that they did.
Because it wasn't a wrong.
Right. Because
at the beginning.
It just happened to like they had been able to come up with money now as opposed to the situation beforehand. There would be a big asshole if they didn't just be like, hey, I'm going to pay for every single thing that, you know, like that you took out the loan for. That shouldn't have been a question asked. It's just like, hey, we came up with money. Let's make your life easier, because that was rough. And for someone who had to, like, you know, sign my life away just to be able to afford a freaking education. I know what that feels like to not be able to afford to go to school. So yeah, the parents are like, I'm still giving them an asshole just because asshole grade, just because the answer is already there. And I don't know why you're asking people on the internet where you know what you should be doing at this point.
Yeah, it seems like an obvious choice. Just split the money that you're willing to give your kids, and just split it, because you have a savings account for your son already, and it's got money in there. Why not just split it? Put half in that, half to your daughter, so she can pay off her loans and you know, have a good start out of her career, like college career.
And on top
that's
of that,
exactly
too,
what I'm thinking as well. You know what I mean? I couldn't have said it any better.
Just to add with that as well, the son also is saying, yeah, that's kind of fucked up that my sister has to go through this. Your son is already understanding that, hey, he did have a leg up on his situation. You know the answer to this damn dilemma. Just do the damn right thing and pay for your kid's school.
Yeah, seems pretty easy.
Yeah.
And Reddit teamed asshole.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell from my reaction to Sean's first initial not the asshole, I was like, oh no, canceled on my first episode back. I can't wait.
That's what not listening gets you.
That's all good.
Just a peek behind the scenes. I was on the live today, and this is September 30 when we're recording this episode. It was the live when it was just me and you, Sean, about the money episode. You know how like we were talking about how the dad and the bills, right? Or like taking away a chunk of the paycheck. And at first you were like, oh yeah, this parent's not the asshole. And everyone on the live was just like, hey, yo, is Sean with us in this situation? We're just like, hey, give him time. He'll come around.
Oh yeah.
And then we're just like, damn, the comments are about to be wild for this.
There was one comment that was like I'm absolutely like I disagree or whatever, and then like an edit I'm glad he came around. I was like, I respect the edit. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I beg of you to finish the episode before hitting send on comments. But yeah, it happens. Sometimes I miss crucial information because
All of us do, bro.
We all do. Yeah.
because it's me. Y'all know my personality at this point.
So I went to the comments and sorted by controversial because I wanted to see what the hell would come up with this one because it was
Yeah,
unanimous.
Sean. It's Sean that commented that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the asshole.
Sean Hemsworth. Yeah, they're
Sean
fine,
Hemsworth.
actually.
Crazy. Huckleberry Midscore V said, as someone who never had a college fund and was working at your son's age, I'm mostly just tempted to roll my eyes. You're doing both of them a huge favor and worrying about the beneficiaries getting jealous of each other. Just find a way to make it fair between them in some other way. We don't know the people involved. Maybe you can help your daughter with a car or housing or something. So even they're like, yeah, just make it fair, but they were kind of a pretentious dick at the beginning.
Yeah.
I also worked for school, but
Kind
I,
of through all of it.
Yeah.
They were a pretentious dick, not
Pretentious.
just at the beginning.
yeah, I also had to work to pay off, my schooling and got loans. I'm still paying off the loans. Fucking 5 years later, 6 years later.
I have
whatever it is.
physical disabilities because of that. Yay.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't want to roll my eyes at these kids who just want like a fair,
Yeah,
schooling
agreed.
I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me.
Ain't nobody asked to be born in this economy, people.
Exactly. All right. Moving on to the next story here, posted by Striking Midscore Current 2180. And the title for this one is, Am I the asshole for telling my wife she's fucking wrong and that my mom is right?
Yes. Even if she is wrong, don't tell her she's fucking wrong. Like, you can't fucking emphasize how wrong she is.
My wife just murdered someone, and my mom said that's not okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, there might be some scenario. But what are you saying, John?
I'm gonna. This doesn't count. I'm gonna go with that scenario, Josh.
Okay. Interesting. I like it. Very few murders, I think we've talked about on this podcast. But I like where
If
you're
there's
going.
no trigger warning prior to this, I lost my case already.
No trigger warning.
Damn, I lost.
All right. So I, 35 male, have been married to my wife, 32 female, for 5 years. And we've been struggling financially for the past few months. I lost my job about 3 months ago, and while I found part-time work, it doesn't pay nearly as much as before. We've had to cut back on a lot of things, but it feels like no matter what we do, we're still living paycheck to paycheck and even pulling from our savings. Damn, if that doesn't hit close to home, I understand that. Recently, my mom, 65 female, came over to visit, and she noticed how stressed I was about the money situation. She offered some advice about how we could save money, things like cutting it down on takeout, meal prepping to avoid buying groceries multiple times a week, and switching to cheaper brands. My mom has always been frugal, especially when she was raising me and my siblings on a tight budget. I thought it made sense, especially since we're trying to save wherever we can. I asked if she was willing to go through our spendings and show us where we could cut down, and my wife agreed to this. She made a whole spreadsheet about our spending, and we were spending way too much on fun stuff. We don't need Starbucks every day, and so on. It also became apparent that most of the fun spending was my wife's. To be honest, my wife didn't take the breakdown well and started arguing with my mom that her spreadsheet was wrong. She said that my mom's way of doing things is outdated and doesn't work for us. I mean, you don't need Starbucks every day.
You don't. You can make some
coffee.
at
Or
home.
ever.
Local
Local.
Starbucks. Yeah,
Shop local.
exactly.
Yeah, have arguments about finances, but buy stuff from locals instead.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, exactly right.
Buy expensive coffee from local
From a local.
chains.
I guarantee the coffee is always better, and most of the time, they're not supporting Israel.
True.
Moving on.
Yes. She doesn't want to give up buying organic produce, and she likes having a variety in what we eat each week. I tried explaining that we need to make some sacrifices if we want to get out of this financial hole, but she kept insisting that things weren't as bad as I was making them out to be, and that we just needed to ride it out. My mom left at this point, and we were still arguing, and she told me that she can't give up on takeout. She also went on about my mom being wrong. That's when I lost my patience and said, "You're fucking wrong. My mom is right. She managed to raise 3 kids on one income, and we can't even cut back on groceries for a few months. My wife got extremely upset, saying I was being a huge jerk for siding with my mom and that my mom is outdated. She barely spoken to me since, and now I'm wondering if I went too far. But the way I see it, we need to be realistic about our situation. My mom's advice could actually help us get back on track. So am I the asshole?
Everyone sucks except the mom. I guess mom was chilling. She was fine.
That's fair. She was trying to help. Yeah.
I'm going to say not the asshole in this scenario. But you can go first, Sean, if you'd like.
Oh, no. I mean, clearly she's wildin'. Because, like, not only is she, like, shitting on the idea and saying it's, like, outdated, she's now offering, like, her own solution. And hasn't this whole time.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just, like, a huge part of collaboration is don't poo-poo on ideas unless you already have, like, you know, a solution or constructive criticism. Just being like, that doesn't work for me, brother. That's not going to do it. You know what I mean?
He's her brother? Oh, my God.
Easy, brother.
What are you doing, step bro?
No, that's not what I meant. But yeah, I think he also, I mean, I'm sure he's at its wit's end. He hates that they're living paycheck to paycheck. But maybe they need to have like a more serious conversation on what kind of like life they want to live. You know what I mean? Like, are they okay with just, is this cool with her? Just living paycheck to paycheck, always like not really knowing what's going to come up next. Not, you know, I don't know what their situation is. Sounds like just not, at least OP is not happy with their financial situation. So they need to get aligned on that first, on like what happiness is and what their goal is, because writing it out is not a real solution. You know what I mean? You're writing it out right now.
Yeah.
And that's gotten you to where you are. So obviously she got defensive because she's getting highlighted on what she's spending.
For sure.
But also if she's making more money, I mean, she can, like we always say, you know, you could do what you want with your own money.
Interesting point there. Let me hop in because OP does give a bit more information because people were asking about, you know, certain things. So to your point there, Sean,
I make way more money.
A commenter asked, so you mentioned your own loss of job and working part-time. Does your wife work and is she the primary earner right now? To which OP says she worked part-time as she doesn't wish to go full-time, saying it's not good for her mental health. And he says, I'm still the primary earner, even with part-time.
Then.
And then there is one more.
I mean,
if you want a little bit more information, just to clarify the breakdown part. So did your wife and you discuss having this conversation with your mom? And did the three of you sit down and make the spreadsheet together? Or did you and your mom do this on the side and share it with your wife later? OP said, we sat down together. My mom called and told me she finished going through everything and and it would be best if we sat down to go through it. So we were both informed at the same time. So that's all the information. I hope that answered a lot of the questions.
Yeah. So he sucks a lot less, or they suck a lot less. I don't know if this is a guy or
I think he said male.
Oh,
but
okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. I think OP sucks a lot less. Don't love the communication style, but he's also probably just very frustrated.
Stressed, for sure.
And stressed about the financial situation. I think she needs to take a step back probably when she's not feeling like she's taking the brunt of this fire. But yeah, she definitely handled that situation. One, your mother-in-law's trying to help you, blowing up on her and chopping on her. Like, if you're really that upset, just be like, oh, like, take it in. And then when she leaves, just bring like, that was dumb, right? Like, don't fucking make it awkward for her. Yeah. I hate that when fucking people fight in front of
other people.
Me. I'm like, what? I don't want to see this, clearly. But yeah.
I'm going full not the asshole in this situation, just because I think OP in this scenario knew the reality of their situation. Their situation is like, hey, they're not making as much as they used to. And he was very much aware that, hey, I know that we have to take a cut back. Not only him as the OP, but them as a family, as a collective. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they both said yes for help and they both agreed that the finances are going to be checked. To me, that's a consent of like, okay, well, whatever advice we're going to get, whether that's a an outside party, whether if it's, even if it's not the mom, and let's say they hired some sort of like an accountant or something, right?
Yeah.
The same information is going to be relayed. It just happens to be that the mom was the one that was helping them out, which is good for them as well, because that is a free, possibly a free service, as opposed to if they hire somebody to check those finances for them. When the information was broken down, the wife was a lot, combative already. Like, hey, I'm not, that's not me that's doing that. I don't need to cut down on this. I don't need to cut down on that. To which I think it elevated already, that she was combative from the jump. Like, hey, we need to make some adjustments. I think that the reaction of like, hey, you know what? My mom was fucking right and you're wrong. I think that's justifiable because she's not seeing the reality of the situation. So the frustration, and we always say like, it's never good blowing up on your partner like that. But I think the partner just didn't see the gravity of the situation. So for that reason, I'm saying he's not the asshole in this case.
Right. So you're saying he said that just to try and snap her out of her, like, the breakdown
Denial.
she was kind of having. Yeah. Okay, I understand that. I would say, and this is just me personally, I would try and take it as like take a break from this like disagreement.
Yeah.
Step
It's
back.
like a next morning type
Cooler
of
heads prevail. That's the only like I get he's frustrated. He's probably stressing out about money, stressing out about his loss of job. I get that, and so I understand why he snapped there. I'm just saying personally, I would have probably stepped back,
Same.
taken a cooler heads approach, and then like tried to come back like an hour or the next day or something like that, and tried to really have a discussion with my wife about. I can say that now because I have one.
Whoa.
We all have one now.
We have one now.
Yay!
About like the strategy we want to do going forward. And so again, I don't think OP is in the wrong. I just think that's what he probably should have tried to do. Again,
Agreed.
I understand where he's coming from, but yeah. And Reddit agreed, not the asshole. And I read the comments that I wanted to read. So moving on to the next one. That was cross-posted by Lucy Araya Rose on Best of Redditor updates.
Ooh.
So a bit of a spoiler. There's going to be updates.
All right. Let me seatbelt, buckle in.
Buckle up. And this one is titled, Am I the Asshole for Leaving a Drunk Girl Alone at the Bar?
Ooh. It's best not to. At least, have someone tend to them. Like, hey, a bartender, hey, can you keep an eye on that person?
Especially if it's a stranger. I don't want to be responsible for a stranger, you know what I mean? And then like, especially if they don't know you and they're drunk, whenever they hear, they're like, well, I mean, how do I know you weren't weird? Type of deal. So definitely the bartender, like I feel like managers and bartenders are pretty good at this.
Oh yeah. They're trained to do it in most areas, I think.
So, I mean, I feel like if you just left them alone, like you just saw a drunk person just like passed out on the floor and you're like, damn, that's crazy. And yeah, probably not great. I feel like you should alert the manager or bartenders.
Okay. All right. So this involves me, 32 male, Matt, 30 male, Matt's girlfriend, Lisa, 28 female, and her friend, Jane, in her 20s. Doesn't say the specific age, but 20 somewhere.
Sounds fishy.
Yep. I already forgot all the names and ages.
Same, actually, and I read them. So,
okay. So not important going forward.
It comes up eventually in the update. I'll say that, but yeah, going forward, you don't really have to know it. 2 days back, it was Matt's birthday. He invited me and a few of our friends to a small birthday dinner at this restaurant, which is also kind of a bar. The plan was to eat, drink, and chill. Matt's girlfriend, Lisa, also invited a few of her own friends. It was a group of around 15 people. I mostly hung out with my own friends and Matt and Lisa's friends with her. One of Lisa's friends, Jane, kept trying to talk to me throughout the evening. It was kind of awkward for me as I'm an introvert and the conversation with her felt like they were going nowhere. Around 12, I decided to head back home. Jane came up to me and told me that she wanted to go back home too. I was like, okay, cool. Then she asked if I could drop her off at her house. I asked where she lived and she told me some address that wasn't even on my way, so I told her to ask someone else to drop her off. She asked me if I was sure I couldn't do it, and I was like, yep, absolutely. I love how he's just like, yeah, I can't do that.
And for that reason, I'm out.
I mean, I respect the honesty.
Yeah.
Jane was visibly drunk, but I figured she had a group of friends, so someone would give her a ride. Also, I was tired as fuck and just wanted to go back to sleep. The next morning, I woke up to some very angry messages from Lisa. She was furious at me for leaving Jane alone at the party. Apparently, they all assumed that since I was hanging out with Jane, I would have the decency to drop her back off at home. I told her that I talked to Jane for a total of like 15 minutes for the entire 3 to 4 hours, and I don't understand why everyone wanted me to be her personal chauffeur. All of her friends obviously think I'm a huge asshole, and Matt has decided to stay neutral on this. So am I the asshole?
I will say this though, and I think if you are going to go to a party knowing that you're going to be consuming alcohol or other substances, you have to have some sort of contingency plan on how you're going to get home. It's if I was OP in this situation, would I have gone out of my way to make sure that someone is safe? Yes. But ultimately, I'm not responsible for that person. And especially
Right.
that they just it sounds like they just met them. Am I wrong?
It sounds
man?
like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like.
It's a complete stranger. I don't trust strangers at all. What if I'm out of the way and it's not a safe place for me? You know what I'm saying? So I would have went a little bit out of the way and say like, hey, I just want to make sure you're good. I'll order you an Uber so that way I can at least see that you got there safely, or, you know, share your location with me or something like that. I'd go out of my way. But personally, him not dropping her off, I don't think they're an asshole for that.
Okay. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, kind of same. I think what I would have done if I was in that situation is I would have just gone up to my friend,
Matt?
yeah, Matt, and I would have been like, hey, I'm trying to dip. She also is drunk and needs to get home, but like she lives out of the way. One, she lives out of the way. Two, I do not know this lady. And it's just like, three, I probably don't want to be alone with a stranger that's drunk, trying to drop them off. You know, what if they don't get to their destination? Things like that. So like, can you make sure she's good? Because I'm trying to sleep. You know me. I don't even like parties.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think, honestly, he probably assumed, oh, she's with a bunch of friends. She's fine. She can get home. Someone will get her a ride home if she doesn't, like, if she can't find a way home. So and he's also like, I don't know you. You're not my friend. like I have no responsibility towards you. Whereas you have whatever 7 or 8 friends here that you know that have more of a responsibility to you. So I get where he's coming from, where he's just like, hey, if you were on the way to my house, I would have dropped you off, or even like close. But I can get where he's coming from. As
I get where he's coming from for sure. But I would have just been like,
oh, big stretch.
Big stretcher.
Big stretch.
But yeah, I would just have like talked to my friend just
for sure.
For me, just to, you know, clear my conscience while I leave. You know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
Hey, somebody should grab her. It's not me. I'm not the one.
And I'm saying this from like a place of privilege of being a guy. Because for us, we'd be like, oh yeah, we'll fucking take an Uber. We don't care. We'll say that.
Some Ubers are scary.
Exactly.
With a drunk.
I can understand. I can understand like the concern of the friends. Like, hey, you had the power to be able to make sure she gets home safe. I get that part.
My argument to them would be, you're her friends. You also have a responsibility to get her home fucking safe. What are you guys doing?
And it was a house party, right? Am I?
No, it was at a bar.
It was at a bar. Yeah. It's like a bar / restaurant.
But when they leave, are they not looking?
That's what I mean.
Oh, that is such a big stretch. I'm so sorry.
What a big stretch. Okay. I woke her and she's ready
she's
to
gone.
Wait,
maybe not.
Wait, no. Okay.
No, she's gone.
Yeah, she's gone. She's gone. She's out.
Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, I think the friends have just as much, if not more, of a responsibility towards their own friends, and so them blaming you seems like projection to me.
Yeah, because I think they also probably forgot her ass, and then they're like, "Well,
what did I say fuck me for? I just met her."
Yeah,
it's
easy to fucking put the blame on the person that they're not really friends with.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, how could you leave her alone? Like, y'all left after me.
Yeah.
If anybody left her alone,
it was you.
It was
y'all. So some relevant comments. Someone asked, what does Jane think? And OP said, apparently even Jane thinks I'm an asshole for not dropping her off at home. I'm kind of stumped at their behavior, not going to lie. And then commenter asked about OP's feelings or lack thereof for Jane. And OP says, I'm pretty sure Jane is in her early 20s, Part of the reason the conversations were awkward with her was because she sounded like a kid to me. I felt like there was a generational gap, lol, so hooking up was out of the question. So people were like implying that Jane probably wanted to go back to his place.
Oh, for sure.
And he's
I
like,
mean, that's how I understood that conversation to be going.
And OP sounds like a listener of Reddit on Wiki and said, that's against the Sean rule. Fuck that. So respect
I like
to
that.
OP. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
OP.
we go
also
home
didn't
and
know you were a
sleep, baby.
listener, brother.
We're old now. All we do is go home and sleep after 9.
I get what you're saying. There's no like consensus bot on Am I the Asshole, but the majority were not the asshole. So that was majority comments were that. And
so this was posted on Am I the Asshole and we got referenced?
No, we didn't. I was kidding.
No, he was joking about that.
I was like, shit, we made it. We fucking made it, brother. We're on
We
the
do
fucking
get
Am I
reference
the Asshole?
on Update Wednesday that we're gonna do in a future.
Soon.
Who knows what?
Yeah, soon. But there is an update to this story, like I teased. So, update. Lisa entirely stopped talking to me after the incident. And then he puts in brackets, not that we were close before, but she would sometimes forward reels and etc. on Instagram. Matt was also being distant, but whatever. I got busy with work and kind of forgot about it. A week after the said incident, Matt texted me saying he needed a favor. He said he wanted me to apologize to Jane, and I was like, fuck no, I'm not apologizing to her. Matt said that he knows it's not my fault at all, and he's tried to explain this to Lisa, but she's adamant that I was an asshole to Jane and made Lisa look bad in front of her. Apparently, Lisa gave Matt an ultimatum, saying that if I don't apologize to her and Jane, Matt needs to cut me off. Tough.
How close are y'all?
You're just like, oh, fuck Matt.
Because I'd be like, bro, if this is
yeah,
This
tough.
ain't worth all the headache.
This honestly was some high school bullshit that Lisa was partaking in, and it very toxic. And I told Matt the same thing, but he was really desperate and pathetically sad, so I agreed to text Jane an apology. I texted her something along the lines of, hey, sorry I didn't drop you off at your place like you asked. I was really tired and wasn't thinking. My bad. She replied with, it's all right, don't worry about it. But this apparently made Jane think I'm interested in her or something, and I felt like an absolute idiot for agreeing to the apology. She started texting me a lot. In the beginning, I gave monosymbolic replies, but then her texts increased a lot. And I straight up hit her up with, please stop texting me. I'm not interested.
Ooh.
This hurt. I mean, better than ghost.
Yeah,
Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, respectfully.
This hurt her, and she snitched to Lisa again. And Lisa started threatening Matt to go no contact with me. They fought about this non-issue for like a week, and this made Matt realize that Lisa is really toxic, and they broke up.
Good.
Nice.
Good. It's a new Lisa life for you, baby.
Yeah,
Because
there we
I was
go.
going to be like, if she's giving you the ultimatum and you're choosing her over me,
That's
then
crazy.
that's all
I don't
that
think we
needs
could
to
be
be
friends.
said about our
Yeah.
friendship. You know? Choose her. Make it
Yeah.
easy.
Jane also hasn't tried to contact me yet either. Life is peaceful for the time being. And that is the update. So it sounded like Jane was into him the whole time, and they all
Yeah.
got pissy that if they were trying to hook them up, whatever plan they had didn't work. And then they were pissy at him for not driving her home to hook up with her,
Mhm.
even though they're like a 10-year
was drunk.
age different.
He was a believer of the Sean rule. Good
he
person.
is a listener.
You're not going to lie. For about 2 seconds, my head was so big. You couldn't fucking tell me shit, brother.
All right. So moving on to the next one. This username is awful. It was cross-posted on our subreddit. Cross-posted by Kobe Copter.
Ooh.
Yeah. That reaction was my exact same one, Sean, when I read it.
I'm sad now.
Mamba out.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
But the story was too good not to pass up on. So, trigger warning for the next one for traumatic birth. It's a traumatic birth story. So if you don't want to listen to that, feel free to skip. Timestamps are down in the show notes. So yeah, we'll see you at the next story. Title is, Am I the Asshole for Telling My Husband That He Absolutely Ruined the Birth of Our Child?
I gotta say no. I feel like this is a common theme for Reddit stories.
For
So,
Am I the Asshole? Yeah.
from Am I the Asshole? So I'm going with the law average here.
Okay. What about you, Sean?
Not gonna lie, my shit froze again, so I'm gonna rock with John.
Cool. Cool. Love it. All right. So, hi, everyone. Our daughter is now 8 weeks old. So, obviously, this whole argument has gone on for a very, very long time. We both have been holding grudges, and neither of us think that we are in the wrong. My husband does not know I'm posting this, so I'm going to keep it anonymous as possible. So, when I got pregnant with my daughter, my husband started immediately telling me that I should have a home birth. I really do not know why he was so adamant on it, but he was. At first, I brushed him off and told him I would think about it because I was only 6 weeks pregnant and the birth seemed so far off. Of course, it came quickly, and my husband would literally speak over me at the doctor's appointments when my doctor would ask if I had a birth plan. That's crazy. This caused a few arguments between us in those 39 weeks of pregnancy, but I never really changed my mind. Eventually, my husband's mother sat me down and talked to me, and she told me all the reasons why they did not want me to go to the hospital for the birth. I expressed my concerns about the safety of the baby and myself, but just like my husband, she brushed me off. I'm curious about what the reasons were why you wouldn't want to get
Is
hospital
there like
birth.
a weird religious thing?
Maybe?
I remember past stories that we did, and it was the sister-in-law and the mother-in-law was saying that, oh, you won't be as womanly if you don't, do a natural
Oh.
birth or some shit like that. It's like a rite of passage for them
Yeah, but you could do a natural birth at a
at
hospital.
the hospital.
Yeah, you can.
I was
I
gonna
don't know.
comment already. I was gonna comment a story already. I gotta say, if whoever's pushing the baby out gets the fucking choice of what they want to do.
Yeah,
Exactly right.
100%. I ended up telling my husband that I would take myself to the hospital when it was time and that I did not want a home birth. He acted as if he didn't want to hear me. We met with a doula who was also very pushy. I felt overwhelmed and not supported at all. I was 36 weeks at that point. So when I went into labor, I was 39 weeks and I absolutely begged my husband to take me to the hospital where my doctor is, and he wouldn't. He spoke to me condescendingly and called the doula instead.
No.
I was in labor. Get this. I was in labor for about 3 days, active labor for about around 22 hours. Yeah. With no
medication.
Yeah. Crazy.
No, divorce. I mean,
Yes.
I think
Murder.
I will join you. Don't bleep
No,
that.
we often don't support violence.
I do.
But this is torture. Like,
no,
that's
this
crazy.
you could have killed
Absolutely.
killed your
Both
wife.
of them. Both of them.
and the baby. Yeah.
Yeah. I cried the whole time and just felt something was wrong. I was scared, and oftentimes they left me alone.
What
The
the?
doula told me that if active pushing and labor reached 24 hours, I had to go into the hospital. I remember thinking that I could not decide which was worse, staying in labor for another 2 hours or having my baby right there. When she was finally out, I don't even remember wanting to hold her. I just remember crying out of relief. Obviously, I'm okay now, but I did not have a good experience. On my first appointment after birth with the doctor, she was very shocked I had the baby. She was concerned, and I was so upset. I told my husband that he's absolutely ruined it for me. I truly never want to go through with that again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. I hear mothers say that they forget all of the pain the second they have a baby, but I didn't. I love my daughter so much, but it was horrible, and it was entirely his fault. So I told him several times. He rolls his eyes every time and tells me how mothers are strong and how I'm not trying to be strong. I told him that if we ever have another baby, which he wants, that I
No
will
if.
never do a home birth again.
No if.
His response was, "We'll see." I cannot possibly be the asshole here, can I? Everyone around me is acting like this is so normal, but it's not, is it? So am I the asshole?
Murder.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
is
he's setting
crazy.
you out to dry. He wants you dead. Like, oh my god, this is making me angry. I hate when men just see women as some sort of vessels, as some sort of a piece of meat. It's just like, hey, go ahead and deliver my offs. Do you know? I can't even imagine. I can't even fathom the pain, the suffering, the mental fucking anguish they gotta go through to give a life, like childbirth. I got kicked in the nuts like twice in a row at some point, and I'm like, I thought that was the worst pain in my life. that's probably a blip
Nowhere
of
near
what
it.
they feel.
Yeah.
Nowhere near it.
Nowhere
That little
near it.
goddamn pain simulator we did when we did our live, bro, I tapped out at 6. And
Yeah.
that's probably a tickle compared to like what they had to go through. And this, I'm choosing violence on his husband. Fuck that fool.
Yeah, we don't always choose violence, but
I do.
We choose it correctly.
John, you're forgetting the bit.
No, I'm forgetting it for this motherfucker for
Yeah,
sure.
he's like, I will pass on my bit for this guy, and I agree.
I
Fuck
wish
this guy.
him nothing but kidney stones for the rest of his life, and and that's probably not even what it feels like.
Yeah,
to feel
it
that.
is. It's crazy to me. Honestly, it does seem like he wanted her to not make it through. Like with the lack of care, even
Yes.
like throughout
To
3
dip in the
days.
middle is crazy.
Yeah, like that's insane. Like 22 hours of active labor, not taking you to the hospital, not checking on you, leaving you at some points. Like it really seems like you're dating someone who doesn't want you around. And
Dude,
just
the Will C is sinister.
yeah,
Will C is evil.
Truly, truly one of the most evil people we've talked about. Get out of there. Don't even I can't fathom how you're considering a second child with this person.
I don't know how you're considering staying with this person.
I don't know how you're still there. It's been 8 weeks. I'd be taking my baby and running for the hills because this guy is dangerous to you and the baby. And so is the mother-in-law. Like, fuck her as well.
And the doula.
Fuck the doula. Yeah. Everyone's an asshole except for you and the baby here.
Also, where
crazy.
do you live where everybody is taking this as normal news? You know what I mean?
Well, it's probably the 3 people she sees is the doula, the mother-in-law, and the husband all telling her that this is normal, basically. And so she probably feels gaslit into thinking it's normal.
Yeah, the fact that she has no autonomy or say in any of the situation, this is abuse.
Yeah. I don't know. I obviously not the asshole was what Reddit decided.
Good.
And Floneek said, anyone else feel super creeped out that the husband and the mother conspired to force OP into a home birth? It immediately gave me the sense that they hoped she would die and they could keep the baby. And that was exactly what you said you were feeling there, John. So not a great story. I apologize for that one, but all right. Moving on to the last one here, which I am rusty because I did not put who cross-posted this or posted
That was
this.
heavy, Josh.
I'm sorry. I had to do one, but this one's a little bit of a lighter one.
Okay.
So this one comes from Am I the Asshole Hearing Aids on AITAH. And the title is, Am I the Asshole for suing my cousin for $6,000 to pay for my hearing aids after he threw me in the pool?
Hey, I'm suing, baby. You can see me at the hearing, motherfucker.
God damn.
Man, I wish my internet skipped for that.
Sean's like, the one time I could hear everything.
Yeah.
And I wish I didn't.
That's crazy.
Fuck. All right. So my family is all on my cousin's side for this issue, and I want some outside judgment. My cousin, 25 male, has always been the golden child of our generation. He's funny, good looking, and outgoing, not to mention a boy amongst girls. He always loves to mess around and play pranks. For the record, I really dislike this cousin. I think he's irresponsible, childish, and annoying. I have had hearing problems for years, and I recently got a $6,000 pair of hearing aids. Recently at my grandmother's birthday party, we were all eating and drinking on the back porch. My grandmother has a pool. My cousin decided he was going to throw me in the pool because it would be funny to ruin my hair that I just got done that day. I repeatedly told him to stop and to put me down in a very serious and not playful at all tone.
Wait, can I ask how old? Did they say how old the OP is?
They said how old the cousin is.
Cousin is 25, right?
I'm guessing they're all probably 20s.
20s.
If I had to assume. But they have not clarified how old they are.
Too old to be acting like this.
That's what I was going to say.
The cousin's 25. If someone asks you not to do it seriously, then you should respect that. He threw me in the pool and my hearing aids were ruined. Afterwards, when I told him what happened, he basically said, "Whoops, I didn't know you had hearing aids now." When I told him the cost of them and that he would have to replace them, he freaked out and said, "No way." My family didn't want to make him pay for them because I significantly out-earn him and also everyone else in the family. He was in college at the time, barely making ends meet, in a call center job.
You better start calling more people, bitch.
You better get real good at your job.
Yep. Prepare to learn other languages, buddy, because you're taking extra shifts.
His girlfriend and him have a baby, and they live in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Sell your kid. I'm just kidding.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
Oh, man.
What's going on today?
I'm feeling frisky today, guys. I haven't eaten for a whole day, and I'm fasting, and I'm struggling big time.
All right, so he refused to pay, so I took him to court, and I won. He refused to make payments after that, so I took him back to court, and his wages are now being garnished for the maximum amount, which is 20% of his total wages.
Yeah.
It pushed him over the edge of what he could afford, so he had to work extra and dropped out of college to be able to pay for their rent.
Love it.
My family is absolutely fuming at me. I think he made one bad choice after the other, and he has never given a sincere apology during this whole ordeal. Had he given a real apology after the incident and asked if he could wait until he finished school to pay me back, I would have been fine with it. But the entitled little prick is digging his feet in at every move. So am I the asshole?
Hell no. I don't know if I heard this right, Josh. You mentioned that he wanted to throw her in the pool because she just got her hair done, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, so he already had a
I would have still
reason.
sued. I would have still sued if I just got my hair done like that. I still sued the same amount. But the hearing aid on top of the hair? Bitch, you better work 4 shifts for you to pay me back.
That was going to be my main thing. I was like, I hope you added the hair bill because hair ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially you get color and all that, get it blown out and styled. You're looking at, I imagine, anywhere between like $100 to $200. So
for sure. Yeah.
Just add that to the bill.
Yep.
Also, wild that all of them like are so livid at you, but none of them came up with a solution on like how to make sure you got your hearing aids back.
Yeah.
They're all just like, well, you make money, do it. None of them. And then when you said no, it's the principle of the thing. None of them were like, all right, well, let's all put in funding so you don't. They all just watched you sue his ass twice. And then they still want to get mad at you like they didn't have the chance to get in there and do some shit. That's wild.
Why is everyone coddling this douchebag of a kid, dude?
It sounds like he's the she made it sound like he's the male cousin that gets favored a lot because he's the male cousin. That was implied.
Sounds like he's hot and charismatic. So they're like, yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. He's definitely white too.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, I agree. Not the asshole. I think, he already was going into throwing you in the pool, like you guys said, for not great reasons. And then your hearing aid on top of that. And at no point, like you said, did he apologize, which he could have been like, hey, my bad. I fucked up. I realized that. Is there any way we could negotiate payments? Like I could pay a low fee now.
Like payment plan, like figure some shit out. Exactly.
I think OP would have been cool with that. Like that, really all they wanted was an apology by the sounds of it.
A sincere one at that.
A sincere one. Obviously she should still get her money, but at the minimum she should have got an apology.
Good. He needs to learn a lesson. There's consequences to the stupid actions that he be doing.
100%. Fuck that guy. And Reddit deemed not the asshole, of course, because fuck, crazy. All right, that is it for this episode, Wikimaniacs. Glad to be back. It's great to be here.
Just pan out on Sean's screen the whole time.
Sean's going to a bathroom break, so we'll pan out on that.
Yeah, he'll never see it.
He'll never see it. But that is it for this episode, Wikimaniacs. What did you think? Were these people assholes? Let us know down in the comments on YouTube, Discord, or in our subreddits. If you want to hear we did 2 crazy stories in the Patreon. If you want to hear those, anger, and just insane. The first one was insane, title wise anyway. If you want to hear more, please consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Cultivate Podcast Network, or you can join our YouTube membership program. You get those bonus stories that we mentioned, as well as bonus episodes and extra stories every Tuesday if you're a $10 patron. There we go. Yes. I got there.
Tuesdays.
Any call to action before we head out, John?
We haven't really made it yet, but as this episode's coming out, we are gonna have some sort of Halloween themed merch.
Halloween merch.
Mm.
I'm actually very excited about the one that you have, the heart shaped. I'm gonna tease it. The heart shaped one. I'm gonna get a hat with that.
It took
I'm
me
very
2
excited.
hours. Well, it took me longer to draw.
It looks great. I
Thank
gotta
you,
commend you
thank
on
you.
that, John. But yeah, so go check out our shop for Halloween merch. Order it. Like I said, well, it'll probably be out before this episode. Maybe we'll do a promo cut. But
Yes.
anyway, go check out our store for that.
Depending when Sean uploads it.
Yeah, on Reddit on wikishop.com. Check it out. But that is it. Thank you, Sean and John, for coming on today. And thank you, Wikimaniacs, for another amazing episode. Don't forget, Spooky Lake Month on TikTok. Go check it out.
Ooh.
Hit therapy.